Hi, and welcome to another weekly live stream from PTO Answers. If we've not yet met, my name is Christina Heidick, and I'm the founder of PTO Answers. I'm a verified PTO volunteer nerd, and I'm really excited to talk to you today about the best ways to communicate with school staff. And that includes the teachers, it includes the custodians, the principals, the school counselors, like everybody at school, like the best ways to reach them so that you are keeping them informed of what is going on. So the main point, I guess what I wanted to talk to you about this is like heading towards the end of September. So most of us have been in school for a while. And so we have maybe already had our first events, and maybe, I always, whenever I plan an event, and people come to it and I see how it turns out, a lot of times I'm like, oh, I wish there were more people there. And one of the really effective ways of getting more people there is to get your teachers looped in to the whole thing, and not so much so that the teachers are attending the events, but more so that they are communicating the events to parents and to the kids, their students, so that the students can get excited about coming to the events. And if you're not taking advantage of the teachers in this way, then you're missing out on a lot. And I have this whole big post, and maybe I'll drop a link to it a little bit later, about the best ways to get teachers involved and in PTA and PTO stuff. And I'll give you a little hint. It doesn't spoil the whole thing, but I really strongly believe that getting teachers to communicate the events and communicate what's going on with PTA and PTO really is the right way to go about it. So I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. So I don't know whether you guys know this. I think I've mentioned it before, but my mom happens to be a retired teacher. She taught in elementary, in middle school, in high school, in an alternative program. Like, she's taught in pretty much every single level there is to teach in. And way back when I was starting, before PTO Answers was even a thing, I'm a professional organizer, and I had this idea of like helping other PTOs and PTAs get their stuff like organized, because there's not anything in this world that I don't think can have some better organization, because that's what I do, that's what I excel at, that's what I enjoy. And so that's kind of how the planner started, and the planner soon to have a new name, and I'll talk about that another time. But I had the idea of reaching out to school principals to kind of like let them know about the planner and this different resource. And let me just close this window, because of course the neighbor just started, the lawn service just started. Never fails. Something noisy happens every single time I go live. So hopefully you don't hear it too much on the headphones. So anyway, I started reaching out. I had this idea to reach out to principals. And so I had my mom like take a look at the email. And the email was like a normal email that you'd send to anybody. And it said, hey, who I am, I'm Christina Heidick. I'm a professional organizer, and I have this wonderful product. It'll help keep their PTOs and PTAs running more smoothly, so that the principals will have to spend less time managing the group, because the group will know what to do and they can just follow this, and it's great for officer transitions and yada, yada, yada. So it extolled all the benefits, and it wasn't like lengthy I didn't think it was very lengthy. And my mom offered to look at it because she's a teacher and she's in the educational field. And her response was, okay, this is great, but it's like way too long. And it was only maybe 25 sentences too long, and they weren't like long sentences. And she's like, look, principals have like zero time. They have negative time. So you need to get to the point quick. So my 25 sentence email got shortened down to like 5 sentences. I got in there, I got right to the essence of it and said, I'm Christina Heidick. I have this planner that will keep your PTAs and PTOs on track. Find out more information here. and, let me know if you need more information. But just got like straight in there, kept the introductory background stuff to like a total minimum, just got in there and told them exactly why I was contacting them, exactly the next steps to take, and they had all of the information. And I got a pretty good response from that. And so I guess I'm telling you this story is that's exactly how you should be communicating with your own building principals and teachers and school staff. They have zero time. And I know that sometimes it doesn't look that way because they have these planning periods, but they have more than enough stuff to do and not nearly enough time to be doing it. So when you are talking with your teachers or your building principal or anybody at the school, get right to the point. Keep the generalities to a minimum and tell them exactly what you want from them, exactly what they should be doing, and exactly how they can help. Because I think sometimes we feel like teachers aren't being supportive because they're not like showing up at our events, or they're not telling everybody and their mother about the fundraiser or whatever. But a lot of times it's because the PTAs and PTOs are not giving them the information to the teachers in the way that they can easily digest it and easily act upon it. So what I want you to do the next time you go to email your teachers, one, maybe don't email all of the teachers. If you don't have one already, you really should have a teacher rep that comes to PTA meetings or PTO meetings and is a regular presence, and that they are in charge of like kind of funneling information back. Because like we always have an administrator present, but a lot of times they don't have time to take things back, or like their list is like hugely long and it gets lost in the shuffle because something, a shiny squirrel runs across in front of them and distracts them. So a lot of times a teacher rep can be your best friend in getting the information disseminated to the teachers. So make sure that any communication that goes out to teachers has all of the essential information. So you're going to have to be very clear on what the event is or what the project is, when it's happening, where it's happening, maybe even why it's happening, but like distill that down like really short to like, this is a fundraiser so we can buy more computers for the computer lab, or whatever it is. Like that's all they need to know, so that they can tell their students this, but also they can answer questions that might get bounced back to them from parents. Because they want to be your allies. They want to be supportive of the PTO. So we need to make it as easy as possible. So in addition to the emails, and it depends, you're going to have to talk with your building principal and see, does he want you or does she want you emailing all of the teachers, or is it okay if the teacher rep does it? So you can send emails, you can drop flyers in the teachers' mailboxes. I did that just the other night with our restaurant nights, because I had them all. I made like a flyer and put all of the dates on there, upcoming dates, because I thought, well, maybe some of the teachers don't feel like cooking. Maybe they would feel like supporting the school that one particular night. Or they can let their students know and go, hey, it's pizza night, don't forget. Not everyone will do that, but many will. And the other place that you can put flyers or a notice of some kind is right above the copiers. Like, so you want to hit the teachers wherever they're hanging out in the building. So the staff lounge directly above the copiers, because I don't know, there's been many times when I am standing there copying 500 copies of a stinking flyer, and I'm just waiting for them to come out, and I'm just looking all around the copier for all the information they have there. So really take advantage of that. And there was one other thing I wanted to tell you, and it flew out of my head, so I apologize for that. So I'll bump into the comments and say hey to Wendy and Betty. And Cindy asks, how can you entice someone to become a teacher rep? We keep asking and getting no response. This is something, if you get no response and you need to go to your building principal and you need to say, look, we need a rep because here's why. Like, it'll ease communication, it'll streamline the process, there'll be one go-to person, and it doesn't necessarily mean that same teacher rep has to come to every meeting. Case in point, at my youngest son's school, it's an upper upper elementary school. He, I'm sorry, I just remembered what I forgot before. So see how that happens. Sorry. We had our ice cream social event last week. I think I told you about it. And one of the teachers that usually comes as teacher rep actually came. And mind you, this is my 5th year at this school. Okay. I am just now finally realizing that she is the head teacher rep and that she gets other teachers to come, but she's like the main one who will get things started and make sure teachers are going and make sure that they're reporting back. So it's really a crucial function, and that like I said, it doesn't have to be the same person. So maybe you could, I would go to the building principal first, and then hopefully they will support you. I don't know why they wouldn't, because everyone is on the same page as far as trying to improve the school. But if they don't, then I would maybe go to one of your own children's teachers that you had a really good relationship with, and just ask them if they would come, or if they would help you get a group of teachers, a small group of teachers. Because it's really not helpful if people just like come one time and they have no background and they don't know any of the officers. We all have those teachers in our schools, right? That we're wishing would just go away, but they're really not involved, and they really don't care to know the people. Like, that totally happens. It stinks, but don't avoid those people. But there's going to be somebody who is on the same page as you, and just ask them to come, or maybe even say as a trial basis, just come for one meeting. The other thing is, you could sweeten the pot, and I think I've talked to you about the chocolate strategy before. Say if we get a teacher rep, then the PTO will commit to filling a drawer in the office with chocolate all year, and so once a month you just go in and you drop chocolate in there, and a lot of times that's all it takes. It's just a little bit of a bribery. So the thing that I forgot to say before is, the other way that you can really make sure that your teachers are staying in the loop as far as what's going on with the PTO is to engage your room parents. The people who are planning the class parties, those people should be looped into PTO and should be doing the bidding of the PTO. And I just lost my earring. How weird. Okay, I'll take the other one out. I'm just having that kind of a day, people. All right. So anyway, if you don't have a room parent program set up and you're interested in getting more information about that, I do have a starter guide available in my shop, and I will drop the link in a little bit for that. But the room parents are, when it's done right and it's done well, they are really instrumental in helping the teachers stay informed, getting information back from the teachers, because there's just so many different moving parts that it's hard for everybody to stay on the same page. I think a lot of times leaders get kind of blinders on, where you can only see what's directly in front of you. You can only see the goal of the ice cream social that's coming up, and you're, have to get the RSVPs for that, and you're worried about getting enough ice cream for everybody. That was me last week, because I stress about having enough ice cream. I know it can't be the only one. It'd be worst case scenario to run out of ice cream. Not really. But those room parents can really play a key role in keeping teachers informed, and also keeping the class informed, the other class parents. So yeah, so that's just to kind of sum it up, is make sure your emails and your communications are short. They're to the point. I touched on this before, but I think I forgot to say it before. Make sure your flyers aren't a hot mess. If you don't have white space on your flyer, because there's so much stuff on there, people just aren't going to read it. So that's not an effective form of communication. And I do have a post on PTO Answers about how to design a flyer, and there gives some tips in there. So check that out. I'll drop a link. So remember to use the space around the copiers. Really not well used. People don't use it consistently, but that's a prime location to put up information. And don't be hesitant just to copy an extra flyer that you're sending home to all the students, and just put FYI on the top of it, so the teachers understand that you're just trying to keep them in the loop. pop it in their box, and boy, they will be so impressed by you that you're trying to keep them in the loop, and just really appreciate that. Because like I said, there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of moving parts in schools, and not everybody kind of knows what the left hand is doing. Like the left and right hand sometimes aren't working in coordination. And even if you're not on the same page, if you can get in the same book, that's like super helpful, so that you're not doing things to kind of interfere with the other people. For example, like maybe your PTO is scheduling your fundraiser for the second week in October, and the teachers have one scheduled for the first week in October. Like that is a bad idea, because you're going to be working against each other instead of working together. So keep those things in mind, but communicate often, early, make sure to give enough notice, and be short and concise and to the point. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week. And take care until then. And I'm going to go pop into the Superstar Leader group right now. So if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to go post in the group so everyone can see the whole conversation. So, okay, until next week, take care. Bye-bye.